Inviting people to dinner, and even artists inviting people to dinner, is nothing new. We have been doing this now for 83,000 generations. Folks have been gathering around food, gathering around fire, and talking shop.
Cultivate centers around food, our relationship to food, the globalization of food, and personal stories that connect us together through food. It is everything. It is a story. It is our personal connections to food. It is our memories and our nostalgia to food, but it's also about how we create it and the technology we need to produce it for this incredible amount of people. So the exhibition will take you the full spectrum.
I am working on an installation here that will be a shrine to collard greens. I have sculpted about 50 leaves that will be hanging in the chandelier gallery. And collard greens to me are a way to celebrate and honor, embrace African American foodways, which is like this, almost this gateway food to exploring the entire African American experience. And that is connected to, really directly, to the Heartside Community Meal that will be held on September 23rd in the middle of Heartside Park at a table that's 300 feet long with 200 people seated there that will end up becoming this over-the-table conversation about food and food justice. And of course, the main dish will be collard greens. I hope that we really begin to take this on as a responsibility to pass on these traditions.
New Orleans has been the biggest influence in my work, and I know it will always be. Every day I wake up loving that city more. I know it's ridiculous, but it's a really good city, and in New Orleans, fried chicken is a way of life, and it consistently finds a place in my work, naturally. I'm really excited to share my work with Michigan and people at ArtPrize. Haven't had this opportunity before to show my work up here, and I'm really actually curious. I don't know how people are gonna respond to my work.
The exhibit that I have on now is focused on food. Food is not new to me. I've been working in the restaurant industry for about 25 years. So this is a new approach on doing artwork that's based on food. The artwork that's on display is comprised of about 70,000 circus peanuts that are all molded from paraffin and pigmented with Crayola crayons. This piece is an homage to my grandfather and his memory. He loved circus peanuts, and I can't stand circus peanuts. The idea behind the work is pretty simple, but I would very much like people to kind of experience on their own and take away from it what they feel. A lot of people have opinions on whether circus peanuts are good or bad in a positive or negative way, but in this piece I wanted to take something that kind of has a negative connotation to me, but has a positive connotation because of my family, and I would like to relate that.
The work that I have on display at the UICA is an exploration of the themes of colonialism, migration, identity, and futurism. I see the cactus as this resilient plant that can survive extreme weather conditions. And I'm also using this cactus as a symbol of resilience and hope for a better future. I hope that the visitors get a chance to observe and digest the visual aesthetics and content of this installation. As an artist, I have the need, but also the privilege, to express my concerns and those of my people. My talent is art, so I'm using it as a tool to address the issues that affect my community, create awareness, and propose actions. We're facing so many political injustices that are affecting thousands of people. One of those pressing concerns is the uncertainty of DACA. Therefore, I decided to stain the white walls of the gallery with clay and say it out loud that we're here to stay.
The theme of food is new. I attacked it from the area of food for thought, like I always do. Everyone knows what it's like to be hungry. So the piece, the name, Broken Hunger, is just kind of going to be intriguing to anyone because everyone knows what it's like to feel hunger pains. If you are looking from a lens of not understanding the problem, then you won't get it. If you've always had access to food, you won't understand what it's like to not have access to food. You won't understand what it's like to not understand nutritional value. And me putting that into words, it's like, oh, Yeah, I guess I never considered that people in urban areas or people in rural areas may not have access to quality food. Everyone will be able to take something away from this piece, even if they're not experiencing it. Will pull on some heartstrings, hopefully provoke some changes.
I have an installation called Canceled Edition that is a simulated species extinction. By individually taking birds off of the wall over the course of ArtPrize, there'll be a full extinction. And it's a bird called the ivory-billed woodpecker that used to be in the southern states and went extinct around the 40s. There's this relationship that of kind of environmental justice that also is food justice, and so I hope that this piece can encourage people to sort of think about not just the specific examples of this one species going extinct, but how that species going extinct is partially a food-based extinction because they were hunted for their meat, but also a larger issue of this area is going extinct, which is going to potentially damage 90% of our fisheries that come out of Louisiana that the whole nation feeds off of.
So the concept of my work is showing us our consumption. So the title addresses our insatiable thirst for media, for news. Essentially, we're constantly bombarded, but we're also participating in this continual feed. In my work, that feed is interrupted and transformed. So I'm using the elements, I'm using the screens from our cell phones and our computers and our televisions and transforming them into something that cuts us off from that feed. Empathy, inclusivity, and environmental stewardship are at the core of my work and thus connected to food. The screens themselves and our technologies are disposable and indisposable at the same time. We need them to function every day and to improve our lives, but we're also contaminating our environments with them. So my hope for the work is that people reflect on this and find a way to make those screens, but make them in a way that they wouldn't have a negative consequence for us environmentally.
I would like visitors to take away that food is more than just sustenance. Food connects us, it binds us, it helps us show our love for each other. When we lose access to food, it changes who we are as humans. And really think about the globalization of food, access, who gets it, who doesn't.